Hi, good afternoon. My name is Roland Eva, and today I'd like to talk to you about how to write a high-performing Facebook ad. So there's a simple mantra that can be applied to any form of promotional activity for your business, and that is write like you speak. So that goes for written messages, whether that's on Facebook, whether it's on email, whether it's adverts in the newspaper, Google Ads, wherever, yeah? But it also includes videos and Facebook Lives and things like this. And, as I say, the simple mantra is write like you speak. So the more I develop as a copywriter and a marketer, and then the more I'm able to do that, the more I'm able to remove what I call the marketing speak or the sales speak and actually make the promotional activity sound like a conversation between two friends. So how do you do that? If you're going to get in, if you're going to embrace this concept of write like you speak, well, how do you do it? How do you get yourself into that mindset? How can you put yourself in a position where you're able to do that? Well, this is how I do it. I imagine I'm sat in a coffee shop and, I'm sat there either with my book or with my laptop, but I'm sat on my own. And two people sit down on the table next to me and they start having a conversation and they start complaining, yeah, or they just start talking about the frustrations in their day or in their business. And they talk about the exact problem that I can help them solve. That's what I imagine in my head. So the question is, if you were in that situation, what would you do? Would you interrupt their conversation, bearing in mind that they are a stranger? Would you interrupt their conversation to say, excuse me, I couldn't help overhearing, but if you're struggling with X, then I absolutely have to tell you about Y because? Or would you just go about your day and think, I could help them, but I'm not really sure if I can or should interrupt their conversation because they don't know me, yeah? Would the fear of, somebody that you don't know turning around to you and saying, who are you? Why should I believe anything that you have to say? Would that fear prevent you from actually speaking to them? Now, there's no right or wrong answer here. I'm not saying that you should interrupt a perfect stranger in a coffee shop. I'm not saying that you shouldn't. All I'm saying is that to get into the mindset of writing a message or delivering a video or any form of promotion for your business, the mindset that I get into is I'm sat in a coffee shop and I'm going to interrupt the person sitting next to me. Yeah, if the person sitting next to me is complaining about the fact that they can't get qualified leads for their business, or they've got a great product or service and they could build it a fantastic business if only they could get more customers. That's what I imagine these two people talking about. And what do? I turn to them and say, excuse me, I couldn't help overhearing. But if you're struggling to get more customers in your business, then I absolutely have to tell you about this new form of Facebook ads, or a new way to get highly qualified leads in your business that blah, 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 blah. Now, why does it help to imagine that situation? It helps for two reasons. One is every time you create an ad or a promotional message, you are interrupting someone in their day. Now, it might be that someone has opted into your email list, so guess what? They've chosen to receive messages from you, but it might be that they haven't. It might be that, if you're running Facebook ads, you're running Facebook ads to people that you don't know. So yes, you don't have, the fear or you're not there face to face. You're not in that situation. So, they don't say to you, who are you and why should I believe anything you have to say? But of course, if you're running ads, they can say that. They can ignore your message. They can click on your message, they can click on your ad, they can click the link in your ad, get onto your landing page and then just go, what is this rubbish? And leave, yeah? Or maybe they see your ad and they write a comment, yeah? So just because you're not there in person, it helps to think about, well, would I actually say this? Would I say this in person? Because if you wouldn't say it in person, maybe you should rethink what you have to say. So what has all of that got to do with Facebook ads? Well, it has everything to do with Facebook ads, because if you want to write a high-performing Facebook ad, you need to think about it like a conversation. You need to think about it like the person sitting next to you has just said that they have the exact problem that you can help them solve. And you're about to interrupt their day because you want to help them. You're not interrupting your day to brag about how great you are. You want to interrupt their day because you want to help them. And what you say next determines whether they're going to listen to you or not. So how does this work with Facebook ads? So I talk about the two headlines of a Facebook ad. So the first thing your Facebook ad needs to do is stop the scroll. So whether you're on a computer, on a desktop machine, so whether it's a desktop or a laptop, or whether you're on a tablet or a phone, how do you go through Facebook? You scroll through your newsfeed, right? So the first thing your ad has to do is stop the scroll. And what stops the scroll? What stops the scroll is the picture that you use and the headline that appears just under the picture. So what pictures stop the scroll best? The pictures that stop the scroll best are pictures that look like pictures that a real person would post, because you want your ad to look like a post from one of your friends. So what do your friends post? Well, they post pictures, right? Pictures of themselves on holiday, pictures of themselves having, dinner in a fancy restaurant or at an art gallery or a museum. Or maybe they post pictures of their kids. But the point is they post pictures and faces. So what sells magazines? Faces. What sells newspapers? Faces. If you want to stop the scroll, you need a picture with a face in it, yeah? Because then it looks like a normal post. And then the headline underneath, so the picture draws them in, if you like, and the headline underneath then tells them whether this is worth their time or not. So the headline underneath can be what I call clickbait or not. And I'm going to talk to you about clickbait headlines and why you absolutely don't want that. Because if you use a clickbait headline, such as, how to make £1 million in the next 5 minutes with no money and no time, well, yeah, that's likely to get a lot of clicks. But you absolutely don't want people to do that, because what you haven't done is address the question, which is, who are you and why should I believe anything that you have to say? And that's what you'll do in your ad. And you want people to read your ad before they get to your landing page. So if people just see the picture, read your headline, and then click the link, chances are they'll get to your landing page and they will bounce off it. So if you're trying to, get leads for your email list, or you're trying to get registrations for your webinar, or even if you're trying to sell a product, ultimately you want people to reach that page knowing who you are, why they should trust you, and what you have to offer for them. So once they get there, they're like, okay, I know where I am, and I know that I want to read this page, or I'm interested in your offer, tell me more. Whereas if they get to that page thinking, this might be too good to be true, but what's it all about? And then they see loads of copy, they might just go, you know what, I don't have time for this. So you want to get them to read your ad. So, beware of the clickbait type headlines. Don't make a promise that is so big that it pulls people in without making them read your ad. So one of the formulas, if you like, that I'm using at the moment that makes an ad not too clickbaity is the truth about building a dream business. So guess what? If you're interested in building a dream business, that's going to make you stop and see what it's all about. And something that just says the truth about building a dream business, hey, people are interested in what's the truth about this, and they're interested in building a dream business. What it doesn't say is, build a £1 million business in the next 6 months with no money and no time. So there's several reasons why not. One is, that kind of headline will get banned by Facebook for policy. But outside of that, it's also too clickbaity. It's too big promise. It's too, amazing promise, no time, and you're likely to get too many people that click the link without reading your ad. So beware of clickbait headlines. So the second thing, I said I would talk to you about the two headlines in a Facebook ad. So the first headline is, like I say, the words that appear below the picture. That's what stops the scroll. But the second headline is the words that people read in your post before the read more button. So that's the second headline. That's what pulls people in. That's what makes people say, yes, I want to read this story, or yes, I want to find out more. So don't think that your Facebook ad needs to be no more than 3 lines long. No, your Facebook ad can be 1,000 words long. But that second headline, the first few lines of your post, need to be compelling enough that it pulls people into your ad. Now, I'm going to give you 2 versions of the same ad. So the ad was over 1,000 words long, but there were 2 versions of what I call the second headline. So here's the first one. The first one is, if I've learned anything from the bankruptcy of my first business and starting a 7-year journey of discovery that ended when I made £673,000 in just 9 days, it's that word of mouth, networking, and knowing the right people has very little to do with building a dream business. It's actually something far more powerful, and I didn't see it at first. So that's the second headline, and that's the version 1 of it. So here's version 2. So version 2 of what I call the second headline is, anyone can start a business, but only certain people can create one that's profitable. What sets the 2 apart? Knowing how to find people that need your help and turn them into happy paying customers. It took me 7 years to discover how to do that. So that's version 2. And the rest of the copy was exactly the same. So we're talking 1,000 words of copy, but before the read more button, you've got those were the 2 differences. So which one performed better? Version 1 performed 60% better. So that second headline can make a huge difference to the success of your campaign. So what do you do once you've stopped the scroll with the picture and headline number 1, and then you've pulled people into your ad with headline number 2? What do you say next? Well, what you say next is you tell an interesting story. Because what do you have to do? You need to answer the question in people's mind that says, who are you? Why should I trust you? Why should I believe anything that you have to say? And then, once you've done that, it's, how can you help me achieve my goals? And there is no better way to explain those things than with an inspirational personal story. So if you're able to tell a story, it can be your own story, it can be the story of somebody you've helped, it can be both of those things. But if you tell an inspirational story, then you answer all of those questions, all of the objections that people have in their mind, and it pulls them through your ad and onto your offer. So how do you tell an inspirational personal story? Well, that is, that's a whole other system for another day. And the good news is there is a simple 5-step process to tell an inspirational personal story. And if you go onto my website and onto my blog, so my website is rolandeva.co.uk. If you go onto my website and you type in how to tell an inspirational personal story, there is a very long blog detailing that process. The other way of learning that process is on my website. You can download a free ebook, which is called How to Turn Your Expertise into Cash. And in that book, it details that 5-step process of how to tell an inspirational personal story. Now, what's the big deal about this system? So, just so you know, there's a storytelling system that all Hollywood screenwriters use, and it's based on what Joseph Campbell called the hero with 1,000 faces, so the hero's journey. And this is taken from different myths and religions around the world. And, they all follow the same structure. So what I've done with my 5-step system is I've simplified the hero's journey to make it easier to tell a personal story. So if you want to learn how to do that, go over to my website, which is rolandeva.co.uk, and download my free ebook. So let's get back to how to write a high-performing Facebook ad. So like I said, you've got the two different headlines. And then in the body copy, you're going to tell your inspirational personal story. Yeah? Now you might be thinking, this all sounds great, Roland, but how long should a Facebook ad be? Well, the answer is a Facebook ad should be just like a miniskirt. It should be long enough to cover the essentials and short enough to keep it interesting. Now, that's a cute little phrase, but it doesn't actually tell you how long should it be. How many words should it be? And the reason why I've used that cute little phrase is that there is no right or wrong answer. I've written Facebook ads I regularly write Facebook ads that are 1,000 words long and they pull really well. I've written Facebook ads that are 1,500 words long and they also pull well. Yeah? So don't be afraid of the length of the copy. But what you have to do is make sure that it's interesting, because you cannot bore someone into reading. You cannot bore someone into thinking, yes, I'm interested in this offer. No, you've got to pull them through the copy. And, like I say, the copy has to answer those questions, which are, who are you? Why should I believe anything that you have to say? And how can you help me? Because once they know that, then they can go, right, I'm interested in what you have to, I'm interested in your offer. Tell me more about the offer. And at that point, you can take them onto your landing page, whether that's a registration page for a webinar, whether it's a registration page to get a free ebook, or whether it's a sales page to buy a product. But it's only once you got them to the point of, yes, I understand who you are, how you can help me, why I should trust you, that they can then go through to the landing page. Before that, if they just click through, you're unlikely to get people that are serious about taking action. So I hope you found this useful, yeah? So really now it's your turn. Now it's your turn to think about, right, what story do I want to tell? What story do I want to tell that is going to explain to people, who I am, why they should trust me, and how I can help them, yeah? Before you can go into, this is the product or service that I have to offer. And then also get clear about, well, think about how, put yourself in the coffee shop situation. Put yourself in that situation and imagine what you would say to the two people sitting next to you that have the exact problem that you can solve. What would you say to them that is going to make them say, wow, tell me more? Because that is exactly what you need to write in your second Facebook headline. So I hope you found this useful. If you have, then please leave a comment below. And if you know someone who is struggling to, if you know a business owner that has a great product or service and is struggling to sell it, someone who, has excess capacity in their business, and if they could just sell it to more people that it would help them build their dream business, then please share this with them. And until next time, carpe diem.